guys, so Lola enjoyed doing the video the other day and she said, hey, we should do another one. So we're back. I wanted to show you the painting that I finished earlier this week, which probably deserves a little explanation. I had so much fun with the Quarantine Queen that I thought I'm going to try to do another kind of more graphic illustration type piece, and so I came up with this and I kind of went down a rabbit hole really. I spent some time on the internet. I kind of like to do that sometimes and just kind of see what piques my interest, and started thinking about conspiracy theories, and then somehow I happened upon that there was an alliance, I guess you could say, well, a cartel in the 1920s. It was formed in 1925 called the Phoebus Cartel, and it was basically a group of light bulb manufacturers who got together and said, let's limit the lifespan of a light bulb, the light bulbs, to 1,000 hours. And before that, most light bulbs were typically lasting about 2,500 hours. And so basically kind of went down a rabbit hole with planned obsolescence and thinking about that concept and the wastefulness of it. Now, some of what I read, and I'm certainly no expert on light bulbs or anything of the sort, suggested that some people seem to think that part of that was because the light bulbs that didn't last as long, that they were more energy efficient. So I'm sure there's probably a balance there, and most of the time I find that the truth is somewhere in the middle, so I'm gonna guess that's probably the case here. So I started thinking about, it would be fun to illustrate light bulbs, and thinking about this conspiracy of nefarious light bulb manufacturers, and just that it would be fun to paint light bulbs. And so started to think, I'd like a little life in that too. And one of the things you think of as being attracted to light and light bulbs are moths. So ended up on the subject of moths. And so kind of from planned obsolescence, I got into the concept of obsolescence and something becoming obsolete or extinct. And so looked up, hey, what are some threatened moths? Which seems funny that there would even be such a thing, but of course there are. So the first one I came across, I tried to look for ones that were Arizona, since I'm an Arizona artist, was the Patagonia silk-eyed moth. And this is a moth that lives only in a cemetery around Patagonia, Arizona, which is southern Arizona. And it only lives like in the cemetery, and I think it's like a half an acre. And then it also lives in a couple areas of Sonora in Mexico in the Sky Islands, which Sky Islands are basically higher elevation areas where the vegetation and the animal life are very different from down below. So kind of cool. I thought, well, it's a rare moth. People believe that it needs to be protected, and I can certainly see why, and so included it. And then looked up, hey, what's another moth? I wanted to have more than one that's threatened here, and this is the prairie sphinx moth, and it actually lives in more than Arizona, but it is actually listed as a critically endangered species. And so included that as well, and then included just some of these vines here, and have the 1,000 for the 1,000 hours and the 2,500 for the 2,500 hours. I have a 75 watt soft white, and just had fun with it. So this is on aqua board, and it's watercolor. And one of the things I like about aqua board that I don't know that I've mentioned before, also this is the one light bulb that is burnt out. I only made one burnt out. And we've got floodlight, we've got, this is one of the Edison bulbs, so one of the very early light bulbs. Obviously a CFL bulb, LED, halogen, some flashlight light bulbs, fluorescent, and had to put in one of the old Christmas tree lights. I always loved the old-fashioned kind. But anyway, what I was going to say is one of the things I really like about Aquaboard that I don't know that I've talked about before is that you can scratch into it. And I only do this at the end because it kind of compromises the surface. But if I want to get just a really sharp highlight or line that's white, it's a way for me to do that. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but for example, the hairs on this moth, I scratched those in with the X-Acto knife, or the hairs on this moth, scratched those in with an X-Acto knife. And also just like this white edge, just to sharpen that on that light bulb. So just thought I'd give you a little tour of that. It's a little different than some of my other work, and there's a little more explanation to what's going on here, but I'd love to know what you think, what intrigues you about the piece, any questions you might have, and hope you're doing well. Have a good day, and maybe I'll do another video soon. Bye.